I'm Brandie Lawrence at the American College of Healthcare Sciences, doing a chemistry practical on antioxidants. So most of us are probably familiar with antioxidant vitamin E and C and even vitamin A, but less well known is probably the flavonoids and phenolic compounds that also act as antioxidants. So where is the great source for these antioxidants? Fruits and vegetables. But oftentimes many of us have a hard time eating enough, specifically vegetables, that we turn to dietary supplements. So what is in these supplements? How are they being packaged to us? In what forms are the vitamins and antioxidants coming? Does it matter which form they come in? And how much are in these different types? Those are some of the things we're going to talk about today. But first, why are antioxidants important? Why do we even care about them? Well, you've probably heard of free radicals in a news report or sort of medical health review. Free radicals are reactive oxygen species, ROS for short, and they actually normally occur in our body in the mitochondria when it's converting energy and oxygen. They're an electron transport chain. There is a superoxide that's created, which is a ROS. Also, our leukocytes, our immune system, actually uses them to their advantage when destroying pathogens and bacteria. However, this can get out of balance, and our body cannot properly break down when there becomes too many of these free radicals in our system, and that's why antioxidants are so important. So let's look at some of these more closely. Resveratrol is an antioxidant, normally coming from grapes, but it can come from some other forms too. It's considered a polyphenolic compound. And so let's look at this resveratrol specifically and see if we can see some amounts and forms. So this is 553 milligrams from organically grown Cabernet Sauvignon grape, the seed specifically. It also has some fermented, wild-crafted Japanese knotwood and strawberries and other types of fruits and vegetables in here at a 50 milligram dose, but the main source is coming from the seeds. You'll have to excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold right now, hence I need some extra vitamin C and antioxidants like that. So vitamin E. The alpha tocopherol here is the most active form, but there's actually 8 different forms of vitamin E. There was a study saying that if you took 100 to 200 IU per day, that decreased your risk for heart disease. So this is vitamin code men's. There's a women's formula and family. We're going to kind of take a look at the men's real quick. Let's see what they have going on for vitamin E. So this actually only has 30 IU, which they say is 100% of your daily intake value, but if you're trying to follow along with the study, you'd want quite a bit more than that. So what sources is it coming from? We have some immune support complex here, and lots of different fruits and vegetables, strawberries, blackberries, organic tomato juice, red cabbage, and cauliflower. The list kind of goes on and on and on here. It's quite long. But this company is obviously using the sort of whole food concept. They're trying not to isolate the different antioxidants and vitamins too much, but sort of keeping them in their true, whole compound form there. So I have some green tea out here. Green tea has antioxidant properties. The anthocyanins, like from the blueberries here on the counter, or beets, those sort of really deep colors. And the betalains here are also from Swiss chard and beets, and again, lots of fruits and vegetables have all these antioxidants. If we come around to the other side over here, talking about vitamin A, or its precursor, beta-carotene, the carotenoids, the yellow, orange, red variety, the lutein, lycopene. Those are all coming from sort of these vitamin A sources. So here's the women's formula, and let's look at the vitamin A content in here. And this does say vitamin A is beta carotene, and it has 6,000 IU. Oh, that's quite a bit more than, for example, the C or D or E. And again, it's taking out from all these fruits and vegetables. Nice long list there. Alright, so vitamin C, good old vitamin C. I have a couple of brands here. Ascorbic acid, ascorbate is kind of some different forms you can see. So let's check this Country Life one first and see what forms is coming in here. Let's see, we have the ascorbic acid there and sodium ascorbate. Quesaberry extract, some other things here. And it looks like it's coming in 250 milligrams. It also has a lot of other kind of additives in this one. The fructose, honey, orange juice crystals, glucose, and things like that. So we have some sort of other extra things in with it. This again is the vitamin code. It's considered raw vitamin C. So 300 milligrams, supposed to be 500% of the daily value. You also like to throw in live probiotics and enzymes, but claim to have no binders or fillers. And again, they're getting it from the sources of like strawberries, cherries, blackberries, astragalus, so on and so forth. All right. So ginger and turmeric have these different compounds that act as antioxidants to curcuminoids and gingerols, and I may not be pronouncing it totally correctly, but I think you get the point. So here's the extract of turmeric. On here it says support heart, joint, liver function, but it has anti-inflammatory and also these antioxidant properties. So this brand does give the Latin name, which is usually a very good thing. You know exactly what you're getting. 400 milligram and 40 milligrams. And the roots here, and they used a supercritical carbon dioxide extract, and it has black pepper fruit in it as well, as that's supposed to help the body absorb the turmeric better. And vegetable glycerin, some other things there. So that's the amounts and form that is coming in. Alright, so we've seen that there's actually quite a few options for antioxidants, and I think a variety is really the key. Don't maybe concentrate in on one type too particularly, but try to spread it out. And a good antioxidant works by, again, sort of being able to neutralize the free radicals, giving it the hydrogen it so desperately wants to bond with and putting it in a more stable form. And again, they're naturally in our body, but the free radicals can accumulate to a degree where it becomes dangerous. And we also have environmental exposures that can increase free radicals in our body that should not normally be there in those amounts, like tobacco smoke, radiation, types of UV light, and things like that can also be increasing the amount of free radicals you have in your system. So antioxidants are very important. One theory is that if you isolate the different vitamins, antioxidants too much, like vitamin E in its pure form and vitamin C, that then in the body it's harder for them to find other antioxidants to sort of bond with after they've given away their hydrogen atom, and they themselves could become sort of dangerous radicals or considered a pro-oxidant instead of an antioxidant, which is not good. So the vitamin code here is sort of following that concept of taking it from the food source to kind of the whole foods concept instead of stripping it down too much to its pure vitamin form. We're going to talk a little bit now about oils, which ones are oil soluble, which ones are water soluble. Vitamin E is oil soluble, so in some ways it is easier to overdose or have too much of oil-soluble vitamins. So that's something you have to be mindful of, like vitamin E and K. Vitamin C, which we had on the other side over here, is water-soluble. So there's not near as much risk of getting too much of that in your system. But vitamin C does work along with vitamin E. And natural ascorbate occurs in conjunction with many antioxidant flavonoids. So carotenoids or vitamin A precursors are oil soluble also. Let's see what else we have here. Resveratrol example over here is water soluble, but some of our tannins and flavonoids can be oil soluble. An example of that would be like tannins in green tea. Alright, so we've had a lot of information on antioxidants and oil soluble, water soluble sources, forms, and sort of the theory behind a whole foods concept. Ideally, if you can eat, if it's not a problem for you to eat tons of fresh fruit and vegetables or do raw juicing, then you're getting it really in its most sort of live, so potentially more potent form. But if not, then there's many supplements out there and available. So again, don't let those free radicals accumulate to an unhealthy point.